So please do join me in welcoming CEO and co-founder of Doma, Fred Su, to the stage. Fred, you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, the next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about a bunch of vision. All right. I'm going to show you what's actually working in this room, actual domain and traders themselves. I'll also tell you how what's announcing some brand new stuff. For some of you guys, like I see around the tables, been in the domain industry for like 20 plus years. Man, what a long, hard journey, right? Some of you guys have a wallet over here. If you don't, sit next to somebody who does and just glean and learns the mouth. So remember, we built this for you guys. We've had 500 registrations, like Chris mentioned. Remember, you guys will start shooting in it. This is all OCQI B3 and Doma, right? We're also happy to have as the event partners, Kalshi, Solana, Avalanche. Again, some folks will be super excited for you to hear about. We're also co-located next to Bitcoin Vegas. There's a conference. You guys don't know. It's at the Venetian. I think we're out enough today. So this is the ultimate liquidity event for domain investors, all right? When I mean liquidity, I mean that literally. Once again, just a really quick recap. Like, what is Domainify? Like, our mission is to essentially accelerate the Domainify economy. Domains, .coms, .xyzs, .ai, they're just not being parked like cars unused in your driveway. They're just start behaving like financial liquid assets. I'll talk more about that piece. As a quick reminder, a Web2 stock, you have 390 million domain names. It's quickly growing. Probably it's over a billion domain names over the next few years over here, right? We're talking about registrars, registries, ICANN's involved. Right now, there's a CPS event happening in Manchester. The .com, .xyz, .ai, that type of stuff. Domain names are the universal name infrastructure for the entire internet and therefore all of humanity, right? On the Web3 side, I'm super excited to have partners like John Nahas from Avalanche, Solana, Base, which is Coinbase's chain, and Ethereum. Think about the Web3 side as the settlement layer, right? And Doma is the bridge. Doma allows you to buy, trade, and sell the internet. All right. So we'll do a quick recap. He launched Doma December 2025, right? 5 months ago. Since then, you've had 10 million on-chain transactions, over 76 million trading volume, 46,000 deep wallets, which is actually my personal favorite metric that keeps them going up and to the right, and about 425 token launches. And just to give you some context, there's almost 400 million domain names, so I think we're only 0.00001% penetrated, right? That's how exciting to me this platform is to date. So you can verify right now. Just go to domascan.doma.xyz. Let's see the real transaction actually be happening as we speak. Again, we're just getting started. I was telling domainers too, this is about an inning one out of a 9-inning game. So let's talk about premium.coms. These are DNS compliant real domain names, right? You tokenize them on Doma. That's just sort of a first step, right? But we split ownership across 20 people, 200 people, 2,000 people through the means of wallets, right? Tokenization is the only mechanism that gives you the ability to have 2,000 plus people or even millions of people own a piece of a domain name. The original owner, like one of Braden's names, you'll see very shortly, still keeps DNS control, right? That's important. It'll preserve things like compliant now listing, right? Really taking this internet asset class and splitting ownership and usage for the first time in history. The owner generates transaction fees or passive income every single time your domain trades, right? That's a new concept for the domain industry. Passive income. Liquidity without loss of control. Think about that. That's, to me, as a domain OG, like one of the biggest unlocks in the domain industry over the past 25 years, right? Because before, you either owned a domain name or you sold it. There was only two states. Now you could basically have many. So that Doma is the bridge between. Again, this is not theoretical anymore. That's some of my personal domain favorites like brad.com, like boner.com, like rice.com, right? Real domains, real liquidity, right? After my talk, you'll hear about some domainers like Richard Lau from Amar Kuba, from Monty Khan, from Ishmili. They'll listen to me, listen to their actual stories, okay? These are all launched real assets. And this is what rationalization did for their names. I also want to welcome Brave Pollock. So one of the most respected domainers in history. Braden, come on stage.
They're always laughing because they don't know.
All right, so we are
Where the chairs spread.
today's you're gonna get some Lego success. It's about with me. 9:45. But bring out your phones. We're gonna do something for the first time in history. All right. Recently rebranded. Just a little bit more about Braden.
Wait, they're gonna take pictures of. That's why they're getting phones out, right?
That too. Do that too. My buddy Braden on here recently rebranded his name, his company name from Legal Brand Marketing to the Pollock Fund. Your personally, I think it's a much better name. Good move. Good move. All right, congrats. Greatest in buying and selling premium.coms and .ai names. Since most of you guys are in middle school, not born yet, right? So he owns an asset called Alert.ai, a premium AI asset, right? So pull your phones. Is your wallets ready? MetaMask, Coinbase wallet, Phantom. I'll give you a sec.
So you're gonna cat them. It'll make this exciting.
Spinner.
It just means it's broken. Right?
So what's happening right now is traders throughout the world are basically getting fed the real-time news that this premium asset on my Braden is going live. I'm personally going to put in $500 myself on launch. You're welcome, Brady.
That's it.
At least.
Did you give me that? Talking amongst themselves.
Well, it's already gone up 12.5% so far. We just can't see the rest of the content, Braden. All good. It is loading on my phone. Right now, I'm going to click a buy button.
It was just off from the praise.net this year, and I asked him to look up alert.ai. It got appraised at $650 and a 1.3 million in show price. And actually priced at $650 in the marketplace. I didn't know when I pressed it.
I'm going to buy right now through credit card on my phone while you guys look at that chart. All right, so what's going on here is this asset is in the process of launching and bonding. I will zoom in a little bit and tell you basically the more fine-grained details. Currently, that's about a 68,000 market cap, and you have buys happening every second. $400, $10. And what's going on here is people are buying pieces of Alert.ai. They're also getting the access eventually, plus in bonds, to get a subdomain. So I can get Fred.alert.ai, I can get product.alert.ai, build out my competitor to name your service out there.
This guy is hadn't hold it. He's already selling. Wait, let's.
What's happening here too is Braden is also earning a small fee on every transaction. So that $25 transaction that happened 16 seconds ago is earning a 0.3% fee. And our goal, like I said before, is to allow Braden as a domain owner to earn a unlimited perpetual passive income stream from this for the next 30 days, 180 days, 365 days, hopefully for the next 3 years, unless Graded sells this domain on a Web2 marketplace, where he sells it outright on Doma for $500,000.
So it's still listed on the marketplace. It's a Pathfinder, it's a Cedo, it's got Lander on AdOut, it's listed in the Noble marketplace, so it can sell anywhere.
Correct. If you visit alert.ai today. Or even has some lost his Web2 marketability for this domain name. You simply plugged in a trade subdomain, so you could trade alert.ai. You see him now have an ability to allow end users to buy pieces of his domain. Pretty cool.
I had a question if you don't mind. Let's say Raiden sells that on one of these other registrations. What then? Where do you sell it on one of these other sites? What then? Let's say I'm holding, tokens here. So actually, I said, well, my tokens have to reconcile on the back end after it install.
So I gotta repeat the question. So it's an end user. You hold some tokens.
I similar .ai today. Next week it sells for 500 grand, 650 grand. I don't know what how does that translate? Do I could use that buyout?
You get a guaranteed payout and a step up from when you bought it at. Assuming you bought it basically at that bonding price. So you will be made whole as a token holder.
And then I think they said if there is, if you don't mind, if there's any other questions, I can run a mic too. If anyone has any question for Brandon or Fred as well. Right?
What's up, guys? What happens to the subdomains once Greedy sells alert.ai? I hope subdomain of that. What happens to that? And I built it out, let's say.
Right question. So we have every incentive to kind of keep the domain name on Doma or a Doma integrated registrar. It stays on, you keep your subdomain. If there's some reason that the new owner, which is say a Fortune 500 company that bought alert.ai, transfers it out, that's sort of between the owner or the seller and the buyer to negotiate what happens with his subdomain.
So the domain is currently pointed over to Adam, if I'm not mistaken, right? So let's say he decides to build it out. Is there opportunity for us investors here to use that might build it out for revenue money? Okay, so just for other means, is there opportunities for that?
Well, I wanted to clarify, similar to kind of Chris's question. The question was, what happens if you bought a piece or subdomain alert.ai in advance? You would get a guaranteed payout if you bought it on the early tokens, assuming there's been a step up buy now. You would get made whole, right?
You mentioned that Braden is going to control the DNS. Let's say he decides to build it out into an actual website, a business. So I'm just saying, for other domains out there, people decide to build them out. Is there opportunity for us investors to earn a piece of that pie, where there's monthly revenue that's being generated?
Great question. So then the question was, Braden, who still owns majority control of his domain name, built it out to become a unicorn. What's the arrangement between you as an early supporter of alert.ai token and the new business? That's really up to the owner to kind of take care of his community like that. But at that point, Braden controls his treasury. He can do whatever he wants. He simply utilize Doma as an minting interface.
The tokens are still trading, right? You can still sell those tokens, right? The domain, maybe I'm using that domain, but the tokens can still trade.
Thanks, Paul. Any other quick questions? Yes, sir.
Have the domain for sale for $650. The market cap is 68. There's a 5 for the 207 million.
Yeah, so the market cap value right now is different. It's value of the circulating supply. So Great is selling 20% of this name. So the value of that 20% tokens on the market is currently worth $68,000. That number can obviously go up as more people buy in and the value of the token goes up. That'll happen now funding. Roughly 287,000. So give it a little bit of time.
And the 237,000.
And yeah, I think the cup takes north.
What does that represent?
The full supply rejected at the current valuation. So assuming all domain tokens are sold, that is in present value. There's about 1 million supply from this asset.
I have a venture studio, and so we're just building a lot of companies. We also have domains. So let's say we put some domains here, the domains come in value, and then let's say I build a unicorn, and you have an acquisition. What happens to this domain if they want to acquire the domain out?
Yeah, the buyer of your business would have to acquire the domain, right? The balance of the domain. So let's say you put 20% on domain, or you sell out for your your buyer is going to probably buy the other remaining 80% of the domain along with the business. They would have to acquire the remaining 20% if they wanted to. They don't have to because they would still control the business. So the other 20%, those tokens can still be trading on the market. They don't have to acquire it, but they might want to, right? Because subdomains don't, and they probably don't. From that standpoint, I don't know if you say that, but yeah.
Well, I remember. I mean, to me, domain name itself in a company goes synonymously. If this name becomes, or your ventures become unicorns, they'll likely want the old domain name, right?
Yeah.
Person? Yep.
I just came up with an idea for I thought, are you interested for that? I'll build a company. We'll build it, increase the valuation, and the people would buy more into the. Are you open?
Open? Do you want to do what?
Collaborate with you on the domain to build the whole entire server.
It'll come.
We can talk.
You got attention? Huh? You got attention?
We'll just receipt. Yep. That's Amara. You,
It's too late now because it's already down the chain. But
Sorry, who are you?
one of the wallets that bought alert.ai coin was my.boner. So somebody with the wallet address my.boner.com bought your alert.ai.
wasn't me.
So that was a my boner alert. It says if you could zap. That's the concept. We're all children here. I apologize to everyone.
Well, thanks for the question, guys. And Braden, thanks for your trust in us. We look forward to watching you lead this token. Appreciate it. Everybody, waited. Pause. Right. You need my van of white here.
Whether get this set up, I should have mentioned earlier. It needs assistance with anything today. You see, Mark has the Dominion shirt on. There's also some of the liquidity event Dominion shirt. Just find any of the Dominion team members to be happy to help you with anything you're looking forward to.
Oh. Yes. All right, once again, you guys can take a picture of the QR code for alerts out of the eye. Trade it out, Brayden. Thank you. All right, we've done that with one dividend domain, right? We've done that about 400 times, right? We're doing it with one premium domain at times. The question I hear from registrars of big portfolio owners is, well, I have 500 domains. You have 50,000 domains, so I have 5 billion domains. Yes, there is actually some domainers that all have 5 to 6 million domain names. What I knew, there are 3 tiers today, right? Until now, there's only kind of one tool. But today, first time, I'm very excited to announce we're going to be launching a new product. That product's going to be called the Domain Asset Vehicle, Super DAS. Any registrar, any owner of domains. So if you're like a GoDaddy or like a Namecheap or Name.com or Squarespace, nicknames, or you're just sitting on 1,000 AI names, or you get like a free word.com, right? Very valuable names, a travel name, medical name, a legal portfolio. Maybe you've held these things for a few years or even 15 years. Finally, you will have one token to represent a basket of names, right? One basket token to represent your views. Think about how powerful that is, right? You have fractional ownership. You have distribution from Web3 across the biggest chains like Solana, like Avalanche, like Coinbase, right? You get shared upside. You get shared transaction fee economics, just like Brady's name. No more launching one domain at a time, right? You kind of first finally have institutional scale, something that I've been dreaming about literally for 25 years since domain sponsor and oversee. All right, how it's work? All right, step one is simply lock the asset. You take a domain name, you put it in domain protocol. Super simple, right? The second is a sale kickoff with immediate liquidity, like literally immediately. Things like stablecoin, USDC, you can start driving that ASAP. And over time, step three, earn this residual income stream. You can sell your domain name still. You can sell on Doma. You can sell on the Adam.com. You can sell on Cito. Any registrar, you don't lose that, right? Again, the on-chain holders of this token kind of get a share of that pro rata. It's automatic and it's on-chain through Doma. So think about this like you tokenize in place, you monetize in place, you don't change your business, right? You just simply add a layer to it. So I'm super excited about this. The first DAOs will be launching in 30 days, right? So Q exists. This is like real demand. So if you're around here, come find us. Don't email us. Go walk to one of our reps. We have 20 people over here. The guy on the corner raising his hand. Talk to him. Gerardo. See that right now? Everybody's in this room. Thank you for being here. The liquidity lab is open. The back corner where you see the signs, right? And also over through April, for the next few days, we support free old transfers, right? Free to move any of your domain names from any registrar to us, to Doma, right? Or you can be a Doma integrated registrar, right? You get one-on-one consultations. You'll listen to some of our staff and they'll answer any questions. We'll also check your data eligibility, right? On a portfolio of at least 1,000 names, right? So bring a portfolio, leave it on chain with us. I'm going to shift gears really quick. I'm going to talk about something that the domain industry has not been really talking about. I was on an ICE Day webinar about a month ago, and this kind of existential problem that the domain industry had been facing, I think better be articulated this way, okay? The past 25 years, human type in traffic, we call it direct navigation, search, alien, park, RSOC, and I just hate this concept of being beholden to any given one part, right? That whole model is collapsing, right? The Google searches are down to like 25%. It's the largest drop in history, right? Google searches are down 25% year over year. AI traffic, meanwhile, is exploding. There's been a 79x in Claude, in Anthropic, ChatGPT, Gemini searches, right? That's 79 times. And yesterday's model was kind of like, how do I buy a premium domain name, right? With 10 blue based on kind of a boring-ish page, for sale lender, right? Today, people are going to ask chat, finding a premium domain name for FinTech launch. And the agent just does it. And the agent also transacts, right? So if your business model is built to store browser traffic only today, the ground is literally moving from underneath you, right? So this is a little bit deep of a chart, but I want to walk you through this, right? Think about this. Uber and Airbnb, they both solve discovery and trust before payments, right? The agentic economy, right, is doing kind of backwards. They're starting a bunch of payment protocols. I see one being announced on Twitter every week, right? There's no real identity layer, right? At the same time, when I monitor or cut off my kids' internet access, I use a device called Giro, E-R-O. And it basically whitelist, blacklist my domain name, sure enough, youtube.com, Roblox.com for my 9-year-old. Agents being agents with no identity layer is just bots sending money into a black hole, into a void, right? So I think everybody's kind of excited about agent payments. Really, I am too, right? But we're about to make the same mistake every market makes, right? Payment rails before the foundation. You look at Uber, 2009 they started. It was GPS, people finding strangers in real time, right? You got two-way ratings, right? In-app payment was kind of like the reward for solving discovery trust, right? That's not really the starting point. Look at Airbnb, you held money in 24-hour escrow. Nobody just hands a stranger $400 to sleep in some stranger's house, right? Trust is the infrastructure first, money then follow. So today, in the agentic economy, there's no real canonical namespace. This is what I've been saying for years. Domains are the best search trust primitive out there. There's no identity layer currently. There's no reputation system, right? You can't give an agent a 5-star, 4.5-star review like I eat at restaurants with my kids, 4.5-star only. Agents can't be found, they can't be verified, it will build history, right? And yet, like I said, just doing check payments being launched every week. Essentially, paying agents with no identity layer, it's just bots sending money into a black hole. All right. That's why, like I said, we've seen this movie before, right? In the search era, you had Google crawl, you had Googlebot crawl. There's a keyword signal, there's a search and result page. This stuff I was doing in college in the 90s, right? You have SEO, you have patron. In the agent era, you don't talk about those type of things like the SEO days. You talk about skills. You talk about trust. You apply what we call something called the Agentic Domain Index. We call this ADO. ADO, for Agent Discovery Competition, is the new SEO, right? If your domain is not agent readable, the agent will really skip it. There's no down rank, there's no up rank. That just simply won't exist anymore, right? This is the existential question that domainers need to ask themselves. And so every dollar from Google AFD to BFS to RSOT to Google stuff I was breaking away at 25 years ago has been built on Titan truck, right? Take a human out. Agentic relevance is in. Again, just highlight some numbers. 63% of agent business bounce immediately, like immediately. 90% of sites lack what's called an LLM.txt file, right? Less than 1% have an NCB endpoint. Who knows what NCP means? Barely 1% of the room, 2% of the room, right? Your sites are not ready for the new internet. Trust me. I've done the scan. So what does the discovery signals mean? It means robots.txt. It means LLMs.txt. It means a site map. This is all kind of manageable today, right? You think about a few other challenges, agent identity, right? Access control, that's pretty hard. Like somebody may not even know what I'm talking about. Protocol orchestration, right? And then hearing terms like MCP or SCP skills, that's pretty hard. Right? If you think about agentic payments, now this is the topic that I read about watching every week. There's X402. There's Google's ACP, UCP. There's ACP. There's NPP. This is virtually impossible for your average domainer, let alone enterprise, to figure out right now. Right? And certainly Cloudflare, your registrar, are not doing this for you. Okay. That's why we're also, there's a little information deaths, but bear with me a little bit. We're announcing the DOMA agentic agent. So it's every domain parks, aftermarket, active, agent discoverable, built in. There's no migration required. You don't have to rewrite anything. This is new infrastructure. It's managed. You have ADO, you have agent root, which is why agent root is basically like a registry of skills for domain names. It's also going to be open source, right? Trust and discovery is number one over here. So I'll give you a lab example. People will say your phones, go to ai.doma.xyz, type in the domain, right? Get an AI rating score. It's kind of like a FICO score. It's a score of 0 to 100. So you can see where the gaps are, right? You can see what protocols are missing, like, oh, I don't have an LLM.txt file. Like, oh, am I RSOC friendly or not, right? Figure out about fire questions you don't currently answer, right? All it's with the angle of improving your asset value. If you score like a 37, for example, and you feel bad, don't worry about it. It's like going to the doctor. No, that's the whole point. It's a diagnosis. So that, my last slide here. So watch every panel. Please, the fireside, the demo, I'll be holding one as well. learn the mechanics. Like here was the next trade in the corner. We have one Ready Trader 1, in which we're offering $10,000 in USDC as a trading competition later this afternoon. Whether you're Web3 crypto or not, it's going to be pretty fun. That slot machine is a personal favorite of mine. Sent that to my kids. We look forward to easy watching today as well. We're ready to competition, so get your wealth ready. Inside of the Kiwi Lab, you should be able to earn, right? The median activations are here, so airdrop slots in the back. Log house, and by the way, if you did negotiate closing down these slot machines over here, this is no small fee, right? This venue is ours. You guys have fully absorbed yourselves into the DomainFi economy. So, and again, why Bitcoin Vegas? We chose this because, look, this is what I promised you, what's you domainers. I promised liquidity. What better sort of timing and venue than doing this back to back with Bitcoin Vegas across the streets? Please, converge, mingle. That's all on the day here. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.